I started making cornbread for the base of the dish. For the dry mix, I added cornmeal, flour, baking soda, and baking powder. And for the wet mix, I added 1 egg, vegetable oil, cream, and buttermilk. I made buttermilk by adding 1 cup of milk and 1 tablespoon of white vinegar, and then I let it sit for about 5 minutes. Next, I added the dry mix into the wet mix, and then I mixed them together to make the cornbread batter. I poured it into a pan and then placed it in the oven for 15 minutes, and then I set it aside to cool. While it cooled, I cooked an onion, some carrots, and some cherry tomatoes. To cook the carrots, I boiled some water and let them cook for about 5 minutes, and while they did, I cut some corn which I cooked after. Once it was done, I oiled a pan and then started to cook the onions. I added some salt and pepper as well. Once the onions started losing color, I added the crumbed cornbread and cooked it in low heat. Once it was cooked, I mixed in the cooked vegetables and it was done. For the second recipe, I first took 3 large carrots and washed them. Then I cut off the top and the bottom. Then, using an apple peeler, I peeled the carrots as thinly as possible, and then I cooked them in a pot by adding about 3 cups of water and letting it sit for approximately 7 minutes. While the carrots cooked, I added breadcrumbs, cream, and crushed nutmeg and salt into a bowl. Once the carrots were done cooking, I mashed them and added it into the mix I had previously made, and then mix it together. In a frying pan, I added about 1 cup of vegetable oil, and then I made patties out of the carrot mix and placed them to fry for about 3 minutes each. I took them out and placed them into a separate plate when they were ready. Once they had cooled off, I pat them down with paper towels to remove any extra oil, salted them, and then they were done. For the third recipe, I started with 5 cut oranges. I squeezed them and placed the orange juice aside. Then I added 3 large eggs, sugar, cream, and the orange juice into a bowl and mixed it all until the sugar had dissolved. Once it was ready, I stirred it over medium heat for about 7 minutes and waited for it to cool. Then I placed it in a jar, which I then placed in a fridge so it could cool, and after about an hour, it was ready. So to cook the carrots, I boiled some ¿Aló?